Alright, it's been a long while since I made an update. I'm finally kind of getting motivated to work on this thing again. I've had a lot of side projects come in and just haven't been on this. I got no excuses. Anyways, I don't know what I had done last time. I don't think much less than what I have done right now. But power steering was all mounted, and I don't know if I mentioned, for my shaft up here, I bought a shaft off Amazon for like 75 or 80 bucks for a Dodge truck, and it came with some double D shaft and 2 U-joints, and then I had to buy a conversion U-joint and do a little work to get... Actually, this was the U-joint that came with the steering kit. I had to cut the shaft out of it, turn that shaft down, and stick it on there, and then weld the... That was the U-joint that came on this shaft, and then I made a steering coupler as per the prints. I also have cut out all the skid pans. The other day I came out here, welded some tabs on, and got all of those located to put the floor pan in. I haven't done under the engine yet. I wanted to get the floor pan in. I was originally going to go ahead and put the seat in, and I still might. I haven't decided yet. Sometimes when you're working on stuff, kind of like on drag cars, it's easier to leave like the seatbelt bar out so you can move around, and I kind of feel like maybe I should leave the seat out till a little bit later, just for ease of getting around in there for welding and moving stuff around. If I do put it in, I'll probably just take it right back out because it's just going to get welding spatter and grinder marks and whatnot in it. It's just going to end up getting tore up. I'm going to buy a nice Corvo Baja seat for it, and so I don't want to get destroyed before I even get this thing going. But the other big project that I've been working on is the fuel tank, which I think I had started. I can't weld aluminum, so I decided to make this out of steel. And I believe I use 16 gauge, and I think if I was going to make another one, I would probably, especially if you were just going to use it around the house, I think 20 gauge would suffice. And be a little lighter. I don't know what this weighs. I need to weigh it, but there's a lot of square footage of sheet metal in this tank once you add the baffles, because it is fully baffled inside, and you can't see it, but there's probably close to 4 square feet of baffling in that. I definitely could have made the baffles out of 20 gauge or 22 gauge. But I think this tank weighs in the neighborhood of 35 pounds probably. And on a race car, you know, weights everything. And down the road, if I can get somebody to build me a cell, that would be a good place to save. I think the prints call for 100 thousandths aluminum, I think. So they're, you know, this is 60 thousandths. If I make another one, it's going to be out of probably something in the neighborhood of 40 thousandths. So 40 thousandths steel to 100 thousandths aluminum. There's probably, I mean, the cell's still going to have some weight to it, even if it's aluminum. But this, like I said, there's some weight to be saved here. And then also I've ordered some of my wheels. I ordered steel wheels. Again, probably could save some weight going aluminum, but money is a factor in this project. But anyways, cell's made to print more or less. I cut all the panels out and I'm just starting to get it fitted up to get it mounted. There's let me grab them. Everything's on. It sits down in here. These are the tabs that came in the DXF file for this, the general tabs on the chassis. And then there's a tab up here that is going to go right there. I'm waiting on the rubber isolators to come in. It's going to raise the cell up, and then that's going to weld to that. Cell's going to go there. Then you got 4 mounts at the bottom. And then I added a drain, which the print doesn't call for, but it's a 14-gallon cell, so it would sure be nice to be able to just pull a little pipe plug and drain it. So I did. And like I said, I don't know what I'm going to do long term. I've never built a cell before, so This one is pretty much practice. It's going to work. I'm going to epoxy coat the inside of it. I am going to pressure test it. And if I can't get whether I get it sealed or not, pressure testing it, I'm still going to epoxy coat the inside. But that's the last major project, really, was that. The header I think I had done in my last video, which didn't really end up being that big a project, which I still haven't welded it out, but then I just got to mount the muffler. And after that, we're on the radiator, which I already have a radiator. That's for a Honda, like a Honda Civic. I may try to go a little bit bigger. It's a car radiator, so it's probably enough, but I don't want to leave anything on the table. But I do like how the cell turned out, especially except for the first one I've ever made, being steel. I like it. He does a very nice job of making stuff fit, and it's really, I've never built anything off of print, and it's pretty cool whenever you make everything to print, and then like you set it down in there in all the tabs. Like that cell is essentially, it's sitting in there on its own right now. Nothing's even holding it up. Those boards are down there, but I was using those before I had tabs on it. But anyways, I'm going to have that boiled out probably with a radiator shop, and then once it's dry, epoxy coat it, and then it's going to be done. And like I said, on to mounting the seat, radiator, finish welding out the header, mount the rest of the exhaust, and then I'm kind of down to plumbing and wiring at that point. So I don't know. I know there's a couple people that are halfway following this build, and I know it's drug out way too long, but it just is what it is. I also decided I was going to rebuild my dirt bike and powder coat the frame and completely tear it down. I got the engine. The case is split, and I've turned my bead blaster into a vapor blaster, and everything just snowballs. But I'm kind of getting pumped on this again, and I'm hoping by the end of the summer maybe I can have it running and driving. It may not be done. Once I get done, if I'm done by the end of the summer, I'm going to completely tear it back down and have the chassis powder coated. And then final assembly will be this winter. And then I'm going to figure out what I'm going to do with the thing, because there's literally nowhere to run it. So just see what happens.